Hi, this is Tom from Infinity Bricks and we have another LEGO Batman movie set review, and this time we have the Ultimate Batmobile. This is set number 70917 and it costs £139.99 here in the UK. Now this set is absolutely crazy. I mean, you can just see it's just so wild. Whether it looks better all together or separated, you can be the judges of that. So what I'm hoping to do with this review, because obviously it's quite big, there's quite a lot to cover, is to just break it down into lots of sections, and hopefully overall you'll get a good view of what this set's all about. So just before we go into anything else, I think the first thing to do is just take a look at this Batmobile. Now I'll move the characters out of the way now, we'll come back to those, but let's just see how this all kind of works. And what we have with this set is we have lots of vehicles all combined together, and they've all been joined really cleverly. There's actually 4 vehicles in this, so if you've actually seen the photos you'll know what I mean. So we start with the main Batmobile. We have in there a Bat bike, which I'll pull out and I'll show you. We have the main section at the back, like a Bat tank, and then we have this mini Batwing that sits on top. Now it's very difficult to see until I start pulling it apart how they all kind of form, but this is just here to give you a view of its overall size, and when it's all fitted together, to be honest, it's fairly stable. You could kind of pick it up, it's not really going to go anywhere. Whether or not this is a good play set or not, I don't know. It seems that bits and pieces were being knocked off as I was kind of moving things about and trying to build it, so it is possible that it may not be the best play set and more likely to be a better display set, but when they're all separated, there's definitely a lot of play that can be had. It's just whether or not it's robust enough to endure that type of play, I don't know. But so let's have a quick look. So we have, if I bring it round this way, you have the main section at the front, which is literally the width actually all the way along the back is the same. It may look that look like it's narrower at the front. It does dip in a little bit, but actually it's the same all the way back. And the only reason why it looks a little bit wider at the back is that you have these wings folded down, which are from the top of the Batwing. But it does look great. There's a classic example of parts that fall off. There we go. And you can move things around a little bit and try to get a slightly different look. You have these little wings at the back, they kind of manoeuvre, not a huge amount of movability on those, but there are little bits and pieces that you can kind of move about to get slightly different looks if you wanted to, so you could kind of bring these out if that's the look you're going for. As you can see with this Batwing, it is literally just sat on top, it's not solid on there. If you turned it upside down, that would just fall off. I will show each of these individually, which will give you a better look at the detail, but just to start with, I just wanted to show you the overall thing. So here's a closer look at the Batwing. So this is just a very small Batwing compared to the other set that came out, but has a lot of the similar look, so red and black is the main theme. We also have the yellow cockpit. We have that piece actually repeated a few times. No printed cockpit on this, I'm afraid, but just looking at some of the details. So the wings on the side, you can bring those up and down, and just depending on how you want it to look. But again, this is a feature which is there really just to help it sit on top of the main Batmobile, so that's just added there. You have these wings at the back. They are flexible, which I thought was quite interesting. I wasn't sure why they did that. It doesn't seem to serve a purpose in attaching it to the set as far as I can tell, so yeah, it does seem slightly unusual, but nevertheless that's the design they went for. And if we spin it round, you can see from the back you've got these sort of purple thrusters in there as well. Not liking the back details here with those with that Technic piece at the bottom, with all that showing. I'm not quite sure what purpose that has, so that just looks a little bit, I don't know, a bit plain to me. But apart from that, I'm thinking it does look very detailed. You've got a couple of spring-loaded shooters at the front here in orange, and on the back here you can just push these down as you would. I'll just do it. There we go. So yeah, easy to lose those. But yeah, I think that looks great actually. It does have a lot of stickers in this set. They're, as far as I remember, and as we go through it, I'm sure I recall, I don't think there are actually any printed pieces at all. I think they are all stickers, and there is a heck of a lot of them. So if you're not a fan of stickers, be warned, they are literally everywhere. So we've got stickers here on the sides of the wings, and we've got some stickers up here as well. Not a great fan of these bits at the front. I understand what they're looking to do, obviously to have some sort of inlet for some engines, but they, to me, I don't think they look fantastic. Maybe a different piece would have looked better, so I'm not 100% convinced on those, but overall I think it looks fine. And here we have the tank. Now this is my favourite part in the set. It does look really strange, completely unusual, and looking at it, it doesn't look like a Bat vehicle at all. It doesn't actually look much like a vehicle, but there's something about it that I like, and I'm not 100% sure why. It's possible just because of its chunkiness. I do like all these added extras that they've got here with these, I guess they're kind of like engine contraptions or boosters that they've added on that sort of give it a sort of real mechanical feel. On the back you've got this panel which is what gets which lifts up and attaches to the main Batmobile, but I do like the details on that. Again, it's all stickers though, so you have your stickers here, and they've got a little sticker for the Batman symbol there in the middle, so I do like all of those little extra details. Again, you've got lots of thrusters, you can see the wheels here as well. They still have these little Technic gaps there, which, like I said before, is unusual. They don't really serve a purpose. They don't clip into the Batmobile to make it steady. They're just, you know, they're just there for, I don't know, definitely not decorative reasons, I would have said. A lot more stickers on the side. So you've got some stickers here, here, and here. Kind of like the kind of hazard sort of stickers that they do put on. And you've got ones at the front that say dangerous. And then inside the cockpit, there's another sticker which shows the statistics of the tank. So I think they've done a really great job with this build. A couple of play features that you have with this one, whereas with the other one it was just the spring-loaded shooters. You have the ability to tilt up a couple of guns on the side, and looks like I've lost a stud there. It's probably shot off somewhere in the distance and I'll never find that. Not a fan of these blue Technic bits that are showing there, that's a bit of a shame. But I think that works well. Nice couple of turret guns that can come up and sort of fire. And then when you do lift off this panel, you also have additional storage area on the inside. So there's a couple of stickers there, and you also can store the katana sword and batarangs, so that's pretty cool. So it's nice to have additional storage. You may even be able to get a couple of minifigures in there as well, most likely lying down. There wouldn't be any space to sit them up, but I do like the chunkiness of it. Again, there's a couple of Technic pieces on the side like that, which doesn't really have a purpose. It's decorative, but to me, you know, I think maybe again another piece might have looked a little bit nicer. So not 100% sure why they've used those. But all of these bits rotate, and that's all to do with clipping it into the main Batmobile, which I'll show you how this all fits together. Also at the back you have these sort of tail lights which tilt, and maybe that's, not quite sure why, maybe that's just to sort of lend itself to when the guns come up, so that the lights themselves don't have to tilt down, they can stay, you know, in the right position. But yeah, so from the film, this is actually Alfred's vehicle. So he drives this, and looks quite funky. So here's the Bat bike. This is the weakest part of the set in my opinion, and what this bike can do is the wheels can come out, and that's so that it can fit into the back of the Batmobile. I suppose the idea is maybe that could kind of fly a little bit or something, so or sort of hover, not quite sure, but that's the only way that you can actually get it into the Batmobile. And you close it back up again, and then you have your bike. It's just got one sticker on the front there with the bat symbol, and there's a couple of reasons why I don't like this. And one of the main reasons is it has this little Technic piece sticking out at the front. I don't know if you can see it, and that's used to sort of clip into the back of the Batmobile, so it's practical and I understand why it's there, but I just feel that it doesn't look nice, and maybe they could have come up with a slightly different way of doing it. They could have come up with a different way of trying to sort of lodge it in, so because at the moment that's the only thing that's actually keeping the bike into the Batmobile when it's in there. You know, so I definitely think they could have come up with a better idea. And also the overall look of the bike I feel is a bit weak compared to the other Bat bike that's come out in the Bane set. So from my point of view, that's Robin's bike. And the other problem with it I found is actually fitting that into the Batmobile with Robin on it is a bit of a problem, and I haven't found a way of actually fitting the bike with Robin into the Batmobile without being unable to then attach the tank to the back of it. So from my experience so far, having Robin in that seat and then trying to get the tank attached to the Batmobile is a bit problematic. His hair basically just gets caught on the top, and what that does is it sort of pushes the bike down just a little bit further, which disallows the tank to kind of fully push in. So I found that a bit frustrating. Maybe that was just, you know, maybe that just needs a little bit of work. Maybe there's a couple of loose pieces or something. So you know, maybe that's not going to be everybody's experience, but from my experience I did struggle to get that in. So but yeah, there's no guns on there. Again, a lot of these little blue Technic pieces showing. So here's the main vehicle. This is obviously the main Batmobile. This is the sort of Batmobile that we're used to seeing from Lego, you know, in the sense of its shape. Its colouring is much more linked to the Lego Batman movie than the other Batmobiles that we've seen, but the general shape is very, very similar to the sort of Batmobiles that we would expect to see. Now, I do like this a lot, even though I prefer the tank. But again, it has a huge amount of stickers on. You have stickers here, and I found those a little bit tricky to get on straight. And you also have the stickers along the top, which is saying recreational vehicle, and rec spelt with a W. So that's quite fun. And like I say, you've got the sticker on the front there. I don't think you have any stickers inside. Let's have a quick look. So tilt inside for you. So no, there's no stickers on the inside. You do have a couple of printed tiles for the dials for the vehicle, so like the speedometers and that sort of thing. So they look pretty good. And as you can see, there's a great big, oh, there we go. You can see there's a great big hole in the centre of that when there's no bike in there. So it does look a little bit unusual from certain angles. When you look at it side on, you know, it looks great. You know, you can look at it front on, you know, it does look good. But as you start to sort of spin it round, you'll see at the back here, you have this hollow gap in the middle, obviously for where the bike goes in. And when the bike goes in, you just lift these two things up. It's kind of boosters, I guess. And then the bike just sort of slips onto the inside, but as you can see, that's kind of hollow. It's like a shell. You know, when the actual bike's in there, it doesn't look like that. It is literally only when the bike's not in there. So from a weapons point of view, we have a couple of stud shooters here at the front. So there's two just here and there, and there's a lot of additional kind of lights that are just sort of rotated into place. I love these mud guards, and I love the way the red flows down the side from the mud guards. I just think that looks really nice. It's done really well, and then out onto these wingtips. But yeah, there isn't really any other play feature here apart from the fact of being able to put the bike in and having those stud shooters at the front. The main play feature with this set is the fact that it all combines together. So again, using the same piece as the Batwing and the Bat Tank, neither of which are printed. So that was a little bit unfortunate. It would have been nice to have had a printed cockpit shield there. Like I say, there's lots of stickers. You also have these little panels that can rotate out just for a different look. But again, there's no sort of weapon there. There's no sort of firing of these. You can just see a little bit of the inside of the vehicle. So it's just to change the look up a little bit. And you can tilt these if you wanted to get a slightly different pose from the vehicle. But overall, I think this looks really nice. You know, I think it's a great looking Batmobile. You know, if you were wanting to keep all of these separate, you may possibly think about keeping the bike in there, because I think it would look better with the bike. But apart from that, I think it looks absolutely great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that now with the bike going in and how that works. So literally just lifting up those two grey pieces here, these boosters, and you can take the bike, and then as you slide it in, that Technic piece fits into one of the pins and then stays in place like that. So it's just there, and then if you bring those back down again, it kind of, now it looks like it's got something a bit more of substance to the vehicle. It's obviously not as hollow, so that works out really well. And then you can see inside the cockpit there the handlebars for the bike. And like I said, when I've had Robin sitting in there, you can get him in there. It's just these bits at the top don't come down, and if they don't come down to the right place, the Bat Tank doesn't fit in. So yeah, that is a bit frustrating, but that's how that comes together and that's how that looks. So this is just to show you how the Bat Tank fits to the Batmobile. So you'd imagine that it would fit in going forward, so that's the main cockpit area, but actually it goes backwards. And in order to do that, so we've got the Bat bike in place, and we've got those two grey thrusters facing down. You just lift off the roof and extend it out, and as you push it back, there's two little black clips, might be hard to see. Let's try and get that in the light there, then if you can see them. But yeah, these little black clips down there, you can see, and they clip into the back, and that's how it holds together. So fingers crossed it doesn't all fall apart. There you go. So that's now clipped in, and then what you do is you take that roof and then you bring it over to the front, and that will just sit on some studs there just to kind of hold it in place. So now we have the tank on. Let me just see if I can get some more light here at the front. Being a darker Lego set, it's kind of hard to see these details. There we go. Now we can get the Batwing on. So with the top of the Batmobile, and I'll turn it again so you can see, on top of the tank where the roof went on, there's these two rotating pieces that if you rotate them out, and if you can see those clearly, they rotate out. It then allows you to have the right space to put the Batwing in, and these have to be brought out as well, like that, to allow that space. And then this should just then sit in, and it's not sitting on any studs, it's just fitting into place. So the actual shape here is the same shape on the actual Batwing. So this bottom base of the Batwing here, this shape here, fits into that. So you just kind of push it down and then it lodges, and then once it's lodged you just bring the wings down, and again that's not locking anything, that's just creating a sort of snug look. So here's a look at the main heroes. So we have Robin, we have Batgirl, and we have Alfred, and we have Batman. Now obviously the character that we're really interested in here is Alfred. we've seen this Robin and this Batman before, and we've actually even seen this Batgirl before in previous sets, but we've never seen Alfred like this. I mean, that is fantastic. And in the film he actually wears 2 different batsuits, so it's really cool that we actually can get the second batsuit that he wears. The other one is the classic 1960s batsuit, so apologies if you haven't seen it, but you know, you can pick up that figure from eBay and different places at the moment, just on its own, so you can still get the other suit if you need to. But here the actual suit that he's got this chauffeur hat and the bat symbol on his chest and a little pocket watch. So not any detail printing on the legs at all here, it's all literally just the hat and the head and the torso. But you know, I really love the look of him. He just looks absolutely awesome, and he joins the crew in the film and just gets on with the battle, which I think was really cool. It's really nice that they added that in, and I just think he looks absolutely great. So what I'll do is I'll just take off their sort of hair and hats and all that stuff, so you can see their faces a bit in closer detail. Now with Alfred, he doesn't have a second face because obviously he's wearing that hat, so when you rotate it, all you'll see is the sort of blank head. But again, we've seen these faces from these other characters. Just Alfred, we have the one face, and I don't know if we've got any printing on the back. Just a tiny bit, just a very minor bit of printing there on the back of his torso, and again, just a great look for his face there, which is awesome. And I'm sure that could be used for other figures and other characters that people want to make, different types of villains and things like that for other sort of superhero characters. So yeah, I think he looks absolutely awesome. Actually, he could work as a sort of Zorro mask as well. So yeah, if you had the right pieces, I'm sure that would work for the mask of Zorro. But big thumbs up on Alfred. I've been looking forward to getting that figure. I love the fact that it's got a little bat symbol on his hat as well. So the other characters are the villains, and in this set we get 4 fantastic villains. We've got the Wicked Witch of the West, we've got the Polka Dot Man, and we've got the 2 flying monkeys. And the monkeys actually have identical torsos and legs and arms, but have 2 different face prints, which I really like. The Wicked Witch of the West is the same from the Lego Dimensions set, I believe. She doesn't look any different to me, and but you do have these nice details here on the print, like through her leg and her torso. I think that looks great. And again, she's only got the one face, and there it is, her mean looking face. And with the Polka Dot Man, we've got the smile, he's got the 2 teeth, and these crazy eyes, so he's got this blue eye and pink eye, so, and then obviously he's got this kind of colourful spotty helmet, which I think looks really fun, and polka dots all over him, printing on the arms as well, which is nice, and the legs. And then if we look at him from behind his second face, it's kind of a bit more sort of scared, but again he's still got that pink and blue eyes, which I think works really, really well. I think that's great fun. And with the witch, you might have some detail on the back. Let's have a look. A little bit of extra print detail there on her back, which is great. So overall with the figures, I think my favourite is still going to be Alfred, but second to Alfred, probably the Flying Monkeys. Now they've got really nice printing, great fun. So you've got these kind of print details here on the arm with the red, and then on the torso, and then the fur here just underneath the jacket he's wearing. You've got a bit of fur detail which follows onto his legs. I think that looks really cool, and it's really nice to actually have 2 different facial expressions, so this kind of happy and sort of screaming look. So, and they were a nice surprise in the film. It's great fun to have these characters just suddenly show up. So the only other build that we have in this set is the Bat Signal, and this is brilliant. I really love this. This actually makes up for the fact that I felt that the bike was pretty weak. I'm really pleased that they included this. It's actually quite sizable. You know, it's quite chunky. It's really well built up here on the interior and here around the bottom. I think the overall look of it is really cool. You can kind of tilt it up and down, but what's really nice about it is it has this light brick in it, so you can kind of push on the back and the light brick goes through, and to do that there you just have this little Technic piece sticking out. You kind of just push it in, and that's how you kind of light it up. And if I turn off these lights here, let's see how we get on with this, see if we can see it on the wall or not. Probably not. Let me just turn off another light. And that's what it looks like with the lights off, and that's just the bat signal on the wall. So I think that looks really cool. It's a really nice touch. I'm really pleased that we got this, and I just felt like it adds a lot, you know, to the set comparatively to the bike not being so fantastic. But yeah, I think that works really well. So overall from me, it's a big thumbs up, and I really like this set. I'm really pleased to have got it. A lot of fantastic things in the set with Alfred, the tank, the bat signal, the flying monkeys, the polka dot man, even the Wicked Witch of the West. All of those figures I really think are great. And the main Batmobile with the Batwing I think works really well. It's just the back bite which is a little bit of a disappointment, but considering its size and it's so small, obviously that's not going to ruin this set. Provided that you like the craziness of the build and you're happy with the fact that it is a bit manic, then you're going to love this set. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to doing some videos again shortly.